Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking right now, just hours after Michigan State football coach Mel Tucker released a statement sharing his side of the story. His accuser, Brenda Tracy, is responding to his claims that he is innocent. We've been following this story throughout the day and into the night. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 11. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Karen Drew in for Kimberly Gill this evening. Brenda Tracy released her response to Tucker's claims on the social media app X. The statement reads, "This is just more of the same DARVO," standing for deflection, victim blaming, and lies that I've been dealing with now for months.
Coach Tucker has been delaying and trying to stop the investigative process since the beginning. He can't afford to go to a hearing that determines credibility of the participating parties. I believe this statement is his way of getting out of participating in the hearing, end of quote.
October 5th and 6th, I will be present for the hearing and make myself available for cross-examination by his attorney, Jennifer Belleville. I invite him to do the same, as she continues to state. Now, Victor Williams is joining us live with more on how we got to this point. It's definitely turned into a he said, she said, Victor.
Yeah, that's right, Karen and Devin. You know, it's been a very hectic few days for MSU, but here's where everything stands, at least as of right now. The suspension of head football coach Mel Tucker continues to be the talk of the sports world, with MSU trying to show transparency, releasing the timeline of the entire incident and resources for students who may have been victimized. University President Teresa Woodruff saying the following in a statement to students, which reads, quote, "In the MSU of today, we are taking deliberate action to be more aware and more accountable. We are committed to acting more thoughtfully and creating solutions for a safer, more secure, and more supportive university." USA Today reporter Kenny Jacoby is the man who broke the news of the story.
The fact that he was placed on suspension yesterday, 8.5 months into the case, it doesn't necessarily surprise me.
As far as where Tucker's contract stands now, there's a chance that he won't be able to receive the remainder of his $95 million. Right now, he's suspended without pay. Employment lawyer Scott Beatty on the situation.
If the university takes the position that he violated the agreement and they have just cause to terminate him, then they're going to say we don't owe you any of that contract.
Mel Tucker himself releasing a lengthy 2-page response denying the allegations, saying the following, quote, "It was an entirely mutual private event between two adults living at opposite ends of the country. She initiated the discussion that night, sent me a provocative picture of the two of us together, suggested what she may look like without clothes, and never once during the 36 minutes did she object in any manner, much less hang up the phone." And now even the governor is commenting on the statement, which reads, quote, "As a survivor, I'm shocked. As a Spartan, I'm disappointed. As governor, I want answers. I know the pain that so many feel when allegations like this come to light because I live it too. It's re-traumatizing. MSU holds a special place in so many of our hearts, which is what makes this hurt more. We deserve to know when the university knew about these allegations and why they made the decisions they did. We need to ensure that one of our state's flagship universities, one that carries so much weight around the world, is learning from the past and not recreating it."
There are often no eyewitnesses or recordings of the incident, and so we have to sort of consider whose account is more credible in making these responsibility determinations.
And once again, that formal hearing is going to be happening on October the 5th and 6th. And just like you guys said, Brenda Tracy herself is making herself available and is totally willing to testify. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, we do appreciate it, Victor. Make sure to stay with Local 4 for continuing coverage. Right now on clickondetroit.com, we've posted both statements for Mel Tucker and Brenda Tracy in full on the homepage.
All right, now to the latest in the UAW's ongoing contract talks ahead of Thursday night's strike deadline. UAW President Shawn Fain spoke with Stellantis earlier today. In fact, in the past 24 hours, he spent time at the main table with leaders of all of the big three. Fain says the union rejected revised contract offers on Friday from GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Earlier tonight on CNN, Fain said he has seen some progress in negotiations and responded to claims that a strike would cripple industry across the country.
The companies want to say that, you know, if we strike, it can wreck the economy. It's not that we're going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy, the economy that only works for the billionaire class. It doesn't work for the working class.
The union is pushing, as you know, for a shorter work week, also asking for a more than 40% pay increase over 4 years. If a strike happens, more than 140,000 people could hit the picket lines. All right, ever wonder how your favorite restaurants did on their most recent health inspection?
I know, normally you have to do a lot of work to try to find that information out. But an old idea to make that information visible in the form of a placard is getting another go in the city of Detroit. Local 4's Pamela Osborne joins us live. And Pam, talk us through exactly how this is going to work.
Yeah, Karen, Devin, I'm sure that maybe you've found yourself wondering the same thing and looking for that information yourself. You have to go to the City of Detroit's website. You really have to dig around to find that information on those health reports. But with this pilot program placard system, people would be able to look at a restaurant and know right away that they are in compliance. It's a voluntary program for now, but we did speak with one of the first chefs to volunteer to participate.
We offer steak, seafood, and fish.
Chef Omar Mitchell, owner of Table Number 2 restaurant in Greektown, keeps a clean kitchen.
I'm always hands-on. I'm always clean as you go. I'm always inspecting things, making sure that nothing's expired.
Chef Mitchell is taking his confidence in his kitchen a step further by volunteering to post the results of Table Number 2's health inspection for all to see.
Because it cuts that element of surprise out, because folks always wonder what's going on in a kitchen or in a restaurant. And having that notary stamp of approval helps out.
I stood on the sidelines for that, thinking that it would pass.
Fellow chef Phil Jones.
It became quite obvious that I needed to get involved.
Jones, a veteran with the Dining with Confidence Coalition, believes the placard system would only elevate Detroit's dining scene.
It's a no-brainer. These folks are actually following the rules, and I can go in there and have a relatively safe experience, and I can have a little dining with confidence.
He's working with Councilman Scott Benson to encourage other chefs like Chef Mitchell to participate.
They do it in New York with wonderful results. They've seen an uptick in consumers actually coming in and dining in restaurants that have the passing grade.
The voluntary pilot program will begin in October and run until March of next year. Chef Mitchell is already hoping the placard system sticks around.
If we have that placard that we have to honor, kind of like a Michelin star, if you don't do good with your Michelin star, you'll lose it. Same thing with that. I think it should be a permanent fixture.
So there is still time to get involved if you would like to participate in this voluntary pilot program. It kicks off October 1st. Another thing to note about this, Chef Phil Jones was telling us, if you look at the compliance of these restaurants, many of them, more than 80%, pass the first time around. So what you'll see is a green card signifying that they, of course, are in compliance. And who doesn't want that extra information at their hands? By the way, they're also going to be asking the public and restaurants to give feedback on how this process worked out. Reporting live in Detroit, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. Thanks, Pam. Appreciate it. New at 11, a bridal store owner in Oakland County is charged with defrauding customers. Birmingham police say customers who paid thousands of dollars to Birmingham Bridal for wedding dresses never received them or refunds. Victims were defrauded between $40,000 and $50,000. An investigation uncovered that the owner was using funds from new orders to pay for older orders. The store closed back in June. The owner is being held on a $750,000 bond.
I join you on this solemn day to renew our sacred vow. Never forget. Never forget. We never forget.
Today, America remembering one of the worst days in our nation's history, the September 11th attacks 22 years ago. President Biden returning to the U.S. from Vietnam, stopping at a military base in Alaska, paying tribute to the many soldiers who joined in response to the terrorist attacks that claimed nearly 3,000 lives and, of course, did so much to reshape American foreign policy. Here at home, a large group of first responders and community members gathered in downtown Detroit for a special 9/11 memorial program.
Fire and police staff made their way around campus marches to remember the first responders who sacrificed their lives 22 years ago.
The FDA gives green light to updated COVID boosters from Pfizer and Moderna today. A CDC panel scheduled to meet tomorrow morning to make recommendations on who should get those shots. CDC director will then need to sign off on a plan after which millions of doses would be shipped out. presumably within days, to pharmacies, hospitals, clinics, doctors' offices. Shots likely to be strongly recommended for those aged 65 and older and anyone who is immunocompromised or who has a serious underlying health condition. We will follow it tomorrow.
MGM Resorts are dealing with a cybersecurity issue that shut down some of its system. Its website is currently offline with an apology message and a list of phone numbers for guests to reach their specific hotel concierge desk. Services like website bookings and remote keys, they're unavailable. MGM says it is working with law enforcement and it shut down some systems to protect some data. No word on the effect the issue is having on the MGM Grand Casino here in Detroit. Starting today, businesses in the city of Detroit must accept cash as a form of payment.
That's right. City Council passed its cashless ban ordinance back in June. It requires businesses to accept cash or offer no-fee kiosks, which transfer cash into cards. The change does not apply to any business transactions that happen over the phone or internet. It goes for ride-sharing apps over the phone, payments at parking garages and parking lots, too.